Hello and welcome to the NPL live show. I'm Sirine Demachie. I'm pleased to have with me tonight midfielder Pyne from the Paralympians, Australia's national Paralympic team. But first, let's take a look at the round that was.
Upsets and golden goals were the flavour of round 15 in the PS4 NPL New South Wales men's competition. The action started on Saturday night as Sydney United travelled to Seymour Shore to face the Sutherland Sharks. The clash seemed a fitting way for star player Pyne to bow out of the competition and join Thai club Police Tero FC, as he featured for both teams throughout his career. The Sharks surprised Ruden's men and crashed the Pyne party, going out 3-2 victors.
Cox had some space. Ball couldn't find him though. They've handed it back. Chance for Cox. They've got a chance through the middle. Oh, they have sealed it now, surely.
In a stunning reversal of fortunes for United, Pyne has in fact called off his Thailand move and is already back in the United colours. In the upset of the round, bottom of the table Bonnyrigg took on top of the table RPL Leichhardt Tigers. What was meant to be an easy win for the Tigers turned into a nightmare as Bonnyrigg scored an impressive win. Could this be the start of a miraculous turnaround for the Eagles? Only time will tell. It was a goal fest at Lambert Park to finish Saturday's action when Sydney FC hosted Manly United. The Sky Blues raced out to an early lead, but a brace from Nicholas Taneski ensured Manly finished convincingly. A new-look Parramatta FC took on a confident Sydney Olympic outfit at Belmore on Sunday. The game finished 2-0 to Olympic, however it might have been a lot more if it wasn't for the great work of the Parramatta shot stoppers. With RPS surprisingly dropping points against Bonnyrigg, Blacktown City had the chance to become outright leaders by beating Wollongong Wolves. Wynn Stadium, however, has proven to be a fortress for the Wolves this year, so it would not be an easy task for Crittenden's boys. In a game full of key injuries and spectacular goals, it was City who eventually prevailed 3-1.
3-1 by Blacktown. Now Malia. Doesn't have a lot of support with him. Going to go on his own. Malia! Oh, what a strike from Mitchell Malia! It is special, and Justin Passfield had absolutely no chance.
In the match of the round, Rockdale battled it out with Hakoah Sydney City East. The league's top scorer Jordan Figon showed that despite not playing last week, Rockdale were anything but rusty, scoring 2 goals before half-time. An embarrassing red card to El Hafian on 32 minutes saw the red and black player man down for the rest of the match, but Hakoah couldn't make the most of it. The game finished Rockdale 2, Hakoah 0. This has been all the action for round 15. Back to you.
I'm pleased to be joined by midfielder Pyne from the Paralympians, Australia's national Paralympic team. Thanks for coming in tonight.
Happy to be here.
It's great to have you.
Thanks for the invite.
So the Paralympians, let's start with who the Paralympians are. You've been with them since the beginning, so around 1998, is that right, Chris?
You are correct, you are
so
correct.
So what are the Paralympians about? How did they come about?
Oh, well, I mean, I've been around since '98. So we started in a small hall in Fairfield, and it was there was 5 of us to start with, and we were starting up. The then coach was starting up a team to compete in the 2000 Paralympics, because being a home Paralympics, we got automatic qualification. So we started this. I was 13 at the time in '98, and it started with 5 and then it sort of grew, and it sort of word of mouth grew, and we found some players in Queensland. We found some players in Victoria, and the program just grew and grew to the. So we went to a couple of tournaments before the games, and then competed in the Sydney Games. Well, it's sort of the Pararoos is it's come so far since then. It's we started off as a smaller, where we just had first of all there was a bare 11, and then there was a bit bigger, then there's 20 players, and now it's grown into its own sort of entity. We have state programs, we have national programs, state programs, development squads, a junior, hopefully we're going to get started with mini Pararoos.
Great.
It's grown a bit of a life of its own.
And is it predominantly for, talk us through for our audience as well, around, so it is for people with cerebral palsy,
yes.
Correct, who wants to play any other...
Absolutely, thanks for asking. There's so myself. I'm actually an ABI. I wasn't born with cerebral palsy.
What's an ABI?
ABI.
This is my.
I know. So yes, it's for predominantly people born with cerebral palsy. But ABI acquired brain injury. So I acquired my brain injury in life. But we have people from all walks of life. We have stroke victims. We have so anyone with a brain damage that manifests itself in a physical disability, and that can play.
Brilliant. And you've just returned from Melbourne, a training camp from Melbourne. How was it?
Oh, absolutely sensational, sensational. And it was lucky to be down there coinciding with not only Argentina, Brazil, but then the Socceroos playing Brazil as well. So we got to go in and meet the boys and just chat football.
Just spend the whole time talking about football.
Pretty well the whole time talking with football, and we were lucky enough to have a look at one of their training sessions and see how they operate and see how it's different to us. And really, it's just football.
It's football.
Our training sessions and their training sessions.
It's just football.
It's all football.
And this is your second one this year. You also had one a little bit earlier. How valuable are these training camps for the team and the club?
Well, obviously because of funding, because we need to fly people from all over the country into one destination. We can only have essentially 4 sessions. So a session on the Friday, 2 sessions on the Saturday, and then a session on Sunday. And then everyone's got to go back to their respective states. So those 4 sessions are absolutely crucial. And it's sort of like it's an unspoken law amongst the lads, because we arrive in camp and it's sort of, hi, how you doing? Hi, how you welcome new boys, welcome. And then that first training session, it's usually a squad. It's always a squad game, and it is the most intense, hard-hitting squad game that I have ever been involved with, and it just keeps on going to a level where you don't think a game can get harder, but then it goes up a level, and every time the boys just sort of know that Friday night you set the scene for the whole weekend, and you just go, and you push, because you have so little time together.
I was going to say, this is really the only time you get to spend together.
But the sessions are planned down to a T,
Great.
And we get absolutely the max out of it.
Excellent.
And so, yeah, I mean, the camp on the weekend, on 2 weekends
ago. A couple of weeks ago.
Sensational.
Absolutely. Oh, good on you. And look, you mentioned funding a little bit earlier as well, and your last training camp in March coincided with the announcement that Zestcare had signed on as the inaugural official partner. Absolutely. What did that mean to you and the team? What did that mean also to you and the team?
Yeah, funny you asked that. I was we're putting on all the gear, and the gear's got with Big Zest, and Zest have been absolutely sensational. And obviously they want they want to get photos, and we had a big launch there at Amy Park, and the captain and I, who've been there from the start, we've both been there since 1999 or 98, 99 in the previous millennia. And we sort of pinched ourselves, and I sort of went, Barbs, did you ever think this was going to happen? And he goes, nah, not in a million years. But to have a sponsor and to feel that support and have Zestcare on board, who's such an awesome organisation, has a lot of synergy with us as well. To have people backing us and believing in us and believing in our program. Because our program is, yes, it's all about football and we love it, and if I could do this for a lifetime, I would. But it also goes into dealing with a lot of the social the social issues and having a social family there for the wider, creating like a wider family of essentially disabled football players, but. At the end of the day, we're all football players.
We're all football players, that's right. And again, I guess it's a congratulations on that front as well. So what does the road ahead look like in preparation to departing for Argentina in September?
Yeah, well, the road ahead, apart from being exciting, so we've got a camp. We've got 2 camps in one camp coming up in July, at the end of July, then another in August, and then a pre-departure camp before the big trip to Argentina.
How exciting,
Yeah.
Chris.
Oh.
We're going to take a little break
Yeah.
and have a look at Goal of the Week for the NPL New South
Fabulous.
Wales men's
Fabulous. I'm actually
competition,
looking
and then we'll
forward
be
to Goal
back
of the Week.
and chat a little bit more. All right, cool.
Thank you so much.
Here's Goal of the Week for round 15.
Well won by Blacktown. Now Malia. Doesn't have a lot of support with him. Going to go on his own. Malia! Oh, what a strike from Mitchell Malia. It is special. And Justin Passfield had absolutely no chance. Malia had no support. I thought, why not? And Blacktown are happy he did, because that is some strike.
Congratulations, Mitch Malia from Blacktown City. Chris, what do you think of the strike?
Oh, pick that one out of the pigeon. Fair dinkum, top corner that.
Not bad.
Great strike.
Not
Great
bad.
strike. It was a foul beforehand against them, but we won't go.
We won't go there.
We won't
We'll
go
leave it
there.
at Now, Chris, tell us about your story. Take me from when you were 6 years of age, in an accident, told you'd never walk again, to your continued football life now.
Yeah, well, as I said.
And it's a
before-
long story. We'll condense it a bit.
I'm going to condense it into.
We can see you forever and a day. Don't go on.
So I was born able-bodied, and I started playing football when I was 4. I basically picked up a ball and fell in love with it, and then I had my accident, and as you said, the doctor said basically.
What was the accident?
I was walking in the Blue Mountains with my brother, and I slipped and fell off a cliff. And so essentially paralysed the right side of my body. Woke up, couldn't talk, couldn't walk, couldn't communicate with anybody really. So, my first question to my parents was, can I play football this season? And they obviously said no. But through physio and through every therapist known to man, I learned to walk, talk, and eventually I found out when they started at this team that I had a chance to play football again. So and that was it. I had my first tour in the Ukraine in '99, and then obviously in the Sydney 2000 games, and then going to Argentina in 2017.
Wow.
Played 90 caps for my country, captained my country on 26 occasions, and it's still the exact same feeling for when I pulled the jumper on the first time, which was an old Admiral jersey, the brand Admiral, before a long time before Nike or Adidas got involved. To now when I put on my 90th cap against Iran, it was it's as special then, it's as special now as it was then, and being involved in the program for such a long time, you get to know these, you build into a mentor role, and that's really what keeps me going. Now it's seeing these young players get better than me, and surpass what I can do. I'm playing with them on the field, and I go, I remember
Jealous
you.
much?
I remember you. You were this big, and you were that big, and now you're this big, and you're that big, and you're skinning me and nutting me, and
Wow.
But that's the development that I see, and
And you were 6, and the first thing you asked is, can I play football?
Can I play
Of course.
football this year?
And you haven't looked back
in my
since.
hospital bed.
And you haven't looked back since.
Haven't looked back since.
So what do you do when you're not playing football?
Yeah, well, as I said, if I could do this for a lifetime,
Yeah, of
I'd do it for a
course.
lifetime. But we all have jobs.
Yeah.
All the boys have jobs.
So what keeps you busy?
So I'm a primary school teacher.
Yeah.
I'm assistant principal at Wimbledon Public School. So that's what I do in and around playing football. I go to school, and then after school I train or do whatever. I've got to play tonight. So.
But your students must be so proud that they've got a star footballer in their school. Are there funny things that they do, or ways that they show support that are quite quirky?
Yeah. It was funny. I got this new job, and the kids I started at the start of the year, And I went to the school and I introduced myself. I said, I'm your new teacher, Mr. Pyne. They go, yeah, Chris. I go, what? How do you know?
They went first
I
name
know
basis.
a lot about you. I know. So they've been on Facebook and seen some clips and I go, oh yeah, it's hard to hide
that's
nowadays,
great.
isn't it? So no, they're a fantastic bunch
Are
of
they
kids.
back to Mr. Pyne now at least?
Absolutely.
Very good.
Mr. Pyne or Sir.
Or Sir.
I'll take
Excellent.
either. I'll take
All right
either.
then, Mr. Pyne. Before we let you go, we do traditionally on the NPL Live show do shout outs.
Yep.
So anybody you'd like to say hello to, send a message to,
Yeah.
down the barrel, it's yours.
Well, I'd like to send a message to the lads from the Socceroos. So Ange and the boys over there in Russia. The Pararoos are watching you. I watched you in your game against Germany. Unlucky lads. And we'll see. I believe it's tonight versus Cameroon, or tomorrow morning, roughly. So best of luck, boys. We're all watching and thinking of you. And then shout out to all my fellow Pararoos around the country playing this weekend and the weekends leading up to the camp. Play hard, train hard, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. And just one last one to my beautiful, supportive wife. Hi, darling. Yeah.
Good on you. Oh,
Fantastic.
good on you. I wish we can just keep going. It's been such a pleasure.
I know, it has been a pleasure, hasn't it?
And I'm sure I speak not only on behalf of myself, but also Football New South Wales and the NPL New South Wales as well, that we are so behind the Pararoos for 2019 World Cup.
You guys have been so supportive. Thank you so much.
No, thanks so much for coming in, Chris.
Not a drama.
And good luck with training this evening.
Thank you very much.
Let's take a look at the upcoming fixtures for round 16. On Saturday, the Bonnyrigg White Eagles will host Sydney United 58, 7 p.m. at Bonnyrigg Sports Club. Manly United will host Parramatta FC, 7 p.m. at Cromer Park. And on Sunday, 3 p.m, we'll see Sydney Olympic play the Rockdale City Suns at Belmore Sports Ground. Hakoah Sydney City East will take on the Sutherland Sharks, 3 p.m. at Hensley Athletic Field. Also at 3 p.m, Blacktown City plays Sydney FC at Lillies Football Centre. And at 4:45 p.m. at Lambert Park, the Apia Leichhardt Tigers will host the Wollongong Wolves. And now I'm joined on the couch by Demelza Howard, organiser for the Nova Employment 2017 Football for All Gala Day on Sunday. Thanks for coming in.
That's all right.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good. So what is Football for All?
So Football for All essentially is for any player who wants to play football who has a disability or has disabilities. So could be special needs, could be autism, could be cerebral palsy, anything that they want to do, we play on Sundays. So we also include Power Chair on Sunday as well, which is part of our Football for All branding for everyone to play football.
Right. Who can play?
So as I mentioned, so anyone with a disability is welcome to come along. We have 30 Football for All club programs throughout New South Wales. So a lot of them are teams that come along for the day. It's just a day of fun, festivities. They play football, they jump on jumping castles, and they just enjoy their time with family and friends.
And what are some of the attractions besides football on the day?
So on the day we actually have a Spider-Man jumping castle, which I'm sure they're going to enjoy. We also have Western Sydney Wanderers doing an activation. We've got Audi Miniroos doing an activation. We've got face painters, balloons, special guests, you name it, we've got it.
Great.
Yeah.
Good. And details, so start times, when it starts, when it ends,
So
etc.
it starts at 10. The kick-off for all games are at 10 a.m. And they play games throughout the whole day, every half an hour pretty much. We've got presentations at 1 o'clock and 2:30, and we've got power chair games at 1 o'clock and 2. So similar to the A-League, the power chair teams are aligned with A-League. So Western Sydney Wanderers are playing Central Coast Mariners at 1 o'clock, and at 2 o'clock we've got Sydney FC playing Newcastle Jets.
Sounds like an awesome and loads of fun day.
Yes,
Thank you.
it will be. Yeah,
Thanks
it
for
will
chatting
be.
with me, Demelza.
That's
Thanks a
all
lot.
right. Thank you.
Just before we go tonight, we've got a few events coming up. Don't forget, the Nova Employment Football for All Gala Day kicks off this Sunday at 10 a.m. at Valentine's Sports Park. It's an action-packed, fun-filled day with something for everyone, as you heard from Chris earlier. So do come along, we'd love to see you there. The Waratah Cup semi-finals are coming up on Wednesday the 28th of June. Sydney United 58 versus Hakoah Sydney City East, Sydney United Sports Centre and Blacktown City FC will play the Apia Leichhardt Tigers at Lillies Football Centre. Also, the live draw of the Westfield FFA Cup will take shape on Fox Sports, involving 6 of our clubs: Sydney United 58, Blacktown City, the Apia Leichhardt Tigers, Hakoah Sydney City East, Hills Brumbies and Bankstown Berries. The draw for the round of 32 will be conducted at 3 p.m. on Thursday, 29th of June, live on Fox Sports. Next week on the NPL Live Show, I'll be joined by Australian Futsalaroo captain Greg Giovanelli. And that's it. Thank you again to our guest tonight, Chris Pyne from the Pararoos. Thank you, as always, for your company. I hope to see you on Sunday, but if I don't, I'll definitely catch you next week on the NPL Live Show. Good night.